Hello again, watch friends. Welcome back. A while back, I did a video on what my next luxury watch should be. In it, I described a half a dozen or so watches, what I liked and didn't like about each one, and how each might or might not fit into my existing collection. Those watches included the Frederick Constant Moon Phase, the Lange and Son Longo 1, the Zenith 1969 El Primero, the Nomos Orion, the WatchBasecom Original Senator Hand Date, the Jaeger-LeCoultre Moon Phase, and the Grand Seiko High Beat 36,000 GMT. Those watches represented two high beat watches, the Zenith El Primero and the Grand Seiko GMT, and three watches from the German WatchBasecom area, being obviously the Lange and Son, the Nomos, and the WatchBasecom Original. I'm not going to rehash my comments on these particular pieces. Suffice it to say that I made my decision. I now have my choice, and that is the Zenith 1969 El Primero High Beat 36,000 at 38mm diameter. However, a first world problem of choosing a luxury watch is not as simple as it seems, because, as it turns out, there are four variants of the Zenith El Primero to choose from. So here are some of my thoughts on which to choose, and I'd be very interested in your comments on each of these and why you choose one over another. These four watches are identical except for the color of the dials, the bezel, and the strap. They all use the El Primero caliber 400 movement. It's a 36,000 beats per hour high beat movement, as I mentioned before, containing 278 components with 31 jewels. All the watches are in a 38mm case, which is similar, if not exactly the same, as the original 1969 version of this watch. Of course, the Zenith El Primero is a chronograph. The name comes from the Greek words chronos, meaning time, and graphene, meaning to write. The term was coined by Nicolas Risec, a French watchmaker, in 1821. He is credited with inventing the first inking chronograph used to measure the running time of racehorses. Since Risec's invention literally wrote the time using ink, he named it accordingly, and as a result, it's the name we use today for a watch or other device like a stopwatch that can measure time. If you want to know the details of any watch, whether it's this Zenith or any watch, I highly recommend that you go to a website called WatchBasecom. WatchBasecom has detailed information on just about any watch you might be interested in. It's WatchBasecom. You go to the site and you simply type in the watch that you're looking for. In this case, of course, I'm going to type in Zenith El Primero 1969, and sure enough, up comes several choices, the second of which is one of the variants that I am looking at. If we look at the details, you can see that it's got information about the brand, the model, or they call family. There's information about the case. Is it stainless steel? Is it a precious metal? The type of crystal. In this case, it's a sapphire crystal. Talking about the dial. There are specs on the watch itself, the diameter, the width, the height, etc. And then there's information on the movement. If you click on the movement, you can see, first of all, you can see it's the El Primero 400, and there's specific information about the 400. And if you click on that, you can see that there's specific information about the movement itself. So again, it's the caliber El Primero 400. It mentions other calibers that are based on this particular caliber, and it even mentions other watches that use the same caliber. So again, I highly recommend that you include WatchBasecom as one of your favorite websites to learn about the details of any particular watch. So, starting with the gold-plated version of the El Primero. So, I'm not a big fan of gold-plated watches. Eventually, the gold plating wears off. It may take some time, though, but it still may wear off eventually. I would prefer to have a solid gold watch if I were to have a gold watch. Secondly, I'm not sure I like the mixture of the gold and the stainless steel lugs. Doesn't quite do it for me somehow. And also, it seems to look busy. That's just the way it appears to me. So, the gold-plated version isn't really one of my favorites. The next version is the silver dial. I like the silver dial a lot. It's a nice contrast with the three subdials. You have the light gray running seconds, you have the dark gray as the minute counter, and you have the blue as the hour counter. Very nice contrast between the subdials and the silver of the main dial. But the chrono minutes subdial overlaps the running seconds, and I think that I'd be looking at this watch more often looking at the running seconds than I would be looking at the minutes counter of the chronograph aspect of the watch. So I don't like the fact that a portion of the running seconds is covered up by the minute counter. It seems like it's less usable to me. The next version is the dark gray dial. This would be my second choice after the silver. I like that the running seconds is not obscured like it is on the silver dial. I like the color of the running seconds. That silver, that light silver against the dark gray is a nice contrast. It looks very nice. But I prefer the small markings of the silver dial running seconds to this quarter hour markings of 15, 30, 45, and 60. On the previous version, the silver dial, it had individual marking, a second track, if you will, whereas on the gray dial, it just has quarter hour markings. I'd rather have a little bit more fine detail. And also on this gray dial, the date seems more contrasty here. I'm not sure I like that or dislike that. It just seems to stand out more. Finally, the blue dial, I think, to me anyway, is the classiest of the four. The running seconds overlaps the minute counter. That's a good thing. Still, only it has the quarter hour markings. I prefer the seconds, individual seconds, like the silver dial has. I also like that the running seconds color and hour counter are both gray. Not the same shade, but similar. This adds a nice balance, I think, to the watch. So instead of having 3 separate and distinct colors, you have 2 similar colors, almost like a bicompax, with the minute counter in silver on the bottom. Also, on the blue version, the date seems less intrusive here. At least that's the way it appears to me. So, those are the 4 variants. And as far as final thoughts, I think I like either the gray dial or the blue dial version. So, I still have to make up my mind. I'm not rushing into anything, but I've narrowed it down from the field of a half a dozen or so watches to the El Primero, and then from the 4 versions of the El Primero to just 2 versions. So I have to decide whether it's gray or blue. And interestingly, the blue has that nice blue croc strap, and the gray has that nice chocolatey croc strap as well. So there you have it. That's it. Be sure to leave your comments below if you like these videos, and subscribe if you want to, so that you will be alerted of future content. And again, I'd be interested in your comments of any of these watches, or even the final 4, and what you think of my choice, or my choices, because I haven't made the choice yet. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.